As we've been reporting, today is the 40th anniversary of a flashpoint in our state and our country's history.
The deadly shootings of 4 Vietnam War protesters at Kent State University by Ohio National Guardsmen. News Channel 5's Leon Bibb continues our coverage with a closer look at that fateful day, May 4th, 1970.
They are images burned into the consciousness of those who remember the Kent State shootings of 40 years ago. Fatal gunfire exploded across the Northeast Ohio campus. Images that day were flashed around the world. If there is a single photograph which emotionally leaps from its frozen stillness, perhaps it is this one. On that May 4th day, Jeffrey Miller was one of the 4 students shot dead. Crying over his body, Marianne Vecchio, a 14-year-old runaway. Death came when Ohio National Guardsmen fired a volley of shots at unarmed students protesting the war in Vietnam and its escalation into Cambodia.
They turned in unison and lifted their rifles in unison, started to fire together. I curled over into a fetal position and just started screaming, "They're shooting their guns, they're shooting their guns," and someone pulled me into the closest building, and I just clung to the person.
Laura Davis is one of the people behind the Kent State May 4th Memorial. It marks what happened here. She was a student when gunfire sounded that fateful day at Kent. Now a Kent English professor, she was also instrumental in developing newly installed trail markers detailing the story of the fatal shooting of the 4 and the wounding of the 9.
It's always been possible to come to the site, but there was never any history that was readily available, and now that's told on the trail markers.
Video images from 40 years ago eerily reflect a different time. For some, the images may seem like shadows from long ago in a far distant place. For others, they are haunting remembrances never far from mind. So a question for the woman who witnessed that day and still daily deals with it. How did events in Kent change America and the way the nation looked at the war in Vietnam and Southeast Asia?
And that change was felt in the average American household. It was felt in the U.S. Congress, which actually began withdrawing support from the war starting immediately after May 4th.
What happened on Kent State University's campus 40 years ago marked a turning point in America. Young National Guardsmen on one hand, young protesting students on the other. And underneath it all, the ever-widening war in Southeast Asia. Certainly what happened 40 years ago on this campus still reverberates today. Professor Davis believes the 4 decades-old grainy images at Kent speak lessons aimed at the present day.
To strive toward nonviolent means of conflict resolution, both on a person-to-person level and also on a nation-to-nation level.
40 years she has walked Kent State pathways, student, professor, but always teller of the story she saw firsthand. Laura Davis has never left Kent, feeling it continually calls her to tell of that fateful and fatal time when bullets pierced the Kent State air, taking life on a May 4th, 40 years ago. Leon Bibb, News Channel 5, Kent State.